Welcome to the Virtual Strategic Solutions Virtual Reality Simulation System. Accessing legacy dataset. Files loaded, simulation ready. Camden Park was an amusement park that advertised rides, picnics, and fun for all before the Great War. The park mascot was Mr. Fuzzy, whose likeness appears on various merchandise which can still be found in the park. However, behind the customer's view of the park, intense standards were put in place for employees. Being fired or having their pay docked for frivolous reasons was a common occurrence, though at least one, Marty Porkins, dodged punishment by donating to the park. Employees were required to have extremely high morale and smile as much as possible, or else they would need to undergo smile training. Some decided to rebel by sabotaging the park, such as Brandon Anderson, who placed laxatives in the food, forcing the supervisors to deal with a mountain of customer complaints. Several robots still inhabit the park after the war, including a responder vendor bot and the boss, a RoboBrain executive tasked with handing out wages to humans it refers to as fleshlings. There are also several unique Mr. Handy robots with individual amusement park-themed dialogue who staff the sideshow attractions, including Zoe, Zeke, and Zach. As of 2103, Fuzzy Brenda resides here, an enthusiastic woman who wears a Mr. Fuzzy costume. She refers to the scorched and feral ghouls as customers and encourages the vault dwellers to buy tickets and enjoy the park. Approaching along State Route 81 from the north, the road passes over the waterway and then the park on its eastern side, allowing access to the parking lot to the immediate right. This parking lot area is where several of the park's attractions can be found. The Dross Toss, arcade games, and the Shunt N Bunt are along the lot's western edge, past several automobiles including a bumper car housing a Jangles the Moon monkey. Moving toward the park, one will see the entrance with bumper cars ride to the immediate right next to the Lucky Mucker. Once one has moved through the entrance, they can interact and trade with vendor bot Chad, a responders vendor. Progressing clockwise from the entrance, following the perimeter of the Widowmaker roller coaster, one will first happen upon Sugar Heaps, an ice cream shop, directly next to the company store, and a ride named Radioactive Roundup. The fencing between the derelict rides and State Route 81 has fallen, allowing enemies to enter from the outside of the park. The last attraction on the far southeast side is the Carousel. There are restrooms in this corner as well, with a weapons workbench situated behind them. Inside of the center of the coaster is a raider encampment, which includes a green steamer trunk and armor workbench. The raiders have a power armor station and 2 cooking stations in the centralized area as well. One can choose to climb on the roller coaster tracks to find various loot along the rail, including among skeletons sitting in the cars. Heading back towards the entrance on the western side of the coaster, one will find an employee office and chowline attraction. One can find a medical vending machine inside the employee building and a special protectron named Camden Park Security guarding the building, who, although damaged, still performs its role. The employee office has a skeleton sitting at the desk and random loot scattered around the small structure. Continuing clockwise, the vault dweller will discover the Camden Express, Strip Miner, and Coal Shaft attractions. The northwestern corner of the park is surrounded on 2 sides by a river and has a green space in which the attraction Miner Miners Zone is located. Ending back at the entrance, along with the vendor bot, one can also interact with other robots in the park, such as the boss at the company store, Zach at Dross Toss, Zeke at the Lucky Mucker stall, and Zoe at the Chowline hot dog eating contest. Aside from the scorched normally found around the park, one can also either encounter liberators, bloodbugs, bloatflies, radroaches, mole rats, or feral ghouls by the restrooms and playground.